It's not ethical to invest in the defense industry, which I find mind-boggling. Invest in the defense industry, I think it's a good investment. And it's unfortunate in a way because the world is in turmoil, but it's a good investment. That's one. Invest in the defense industry, I think it's a good investment. But we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans. That's why we are preparing for a conflict with Russia and...
Understand, when European money is involved, that you do not want that European money to move to other parts of the world. That's clear. But at the same moment, it is also important to realize that you should not have new barriers and that you need a strong transatlantic defense industry community. But it's crucial that when we have this transatlantic industry base that it works at this moment, since 2022, European NATO allies have spent $184 billion in the US. So about half.
The thing for NATO is there is a leader, and that is the United States. And
by the way, most of the support we are providing actually goes right back into the US economy and defense industrial base, helping to modernize and scale our own vital defense infrastructure while creating American jobs and economic growth. In fact, the first $75 billion package created good-paying American jobs in at least 40 states across the United States, and 90% of this next request will do the same.
But it's a good investment. That's one. It's fascinating because some in Western Europe and in Scandinavia, there's actually pension funds and banks that say it's not ethical to invest in the defense industry, which I find mind-boggling.
Defense industry, please stop complaining about needing your 10-year contracts. I understand it, but it's always difficult, and you know there is a lot of money going around. So invest, put in extra production lines and shifts, and to European and American allies, please work together. And you know there is a lot of money going around. So invest. I will visit a Rheinmetall factory, and I thought that she would be angry. She said, "Oh, that's great, it's one of our best." But no, don't forget Leonardo, also a great Italian industry, obviously, and I met with the boss of Leonardo after that.
Klar ist, wir müssen deutlich mehr investieren in die Sicherheit. Aber machen wir uns nichts vor, bessere Ausrüstung, modernes Einsatzgerät, mehr Personal, das kostet viel Geld. Der Bundeshaushalt 2022 wird dieses Sondervermögen einmalig mit 100 Milliarden Euro ausstatten.
But it's a good investment. That's one.
Over the last years, we have added $87 billion across Canada and Europe and Canada, and that makes a real difference.
Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development, yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties.
To ramp up the investments in the defense industry in order to